United States, with entry points at hundreds of airports, harbors, and along a border of more than 100,000 miles, is protected by the Department of Homeland Security, including the Transportation Security Administration, the U.S. Coast Guard, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and Customs and Border Protection, including the Border Patrol. This is Border Security USA. Imperial Beach, California. Part of the San Diego sector of Border Patrol, and one of the most dangerous areas to secure in the United States. It ranks first for assaults against agents along the entire 2,000-mile stretch of southwest border. This rugged stretch of U.S.-Mexico border is guarded by a team of specially trained agents, the ATV Patrol. Speed and mobility are critical in this rough terrain. Once the fence is jumped, these agents often have only minutes to apprehend suspects before losing them in the dense brush.
Once the agents out in the field receive a call from dispatch, it's on from then on.
Like other parts east of here, Arizona, New Mexico, where you get the desert, once they get out there, you got a long time to work these guys. We got at the most maybe a mile in some areas, and as little as an eighth of a mile before they get on the freeway and are gone, getting picked up. So we got to respond as quickly as possible.
Aquí en Mexicali.
This is a tough stretch of border. Perhaps it's because agents often confront illegal immigrants trying to escape their troubled past.
This is a receipt, property receipt from the detention facility. All the information's here. He just got released maybe a week ago. The other individual had a bracelet on from the detention facility. This is San Diego Metropolitan Correctional Center. These guys were arrested in Tacoma, Washington. So they were arrested and detained up there, and they were deported through San Diego's close to port of entry. These are the guys who really want to get after the criminal repeated aliens that come through. It makes the job worthwhile, you know?
In a few hours, when night falls, the risks will go up, and perhaps no agent is tougher than Supervisor John Carroll, and night is his turf.
We don't catch many agricultural lettuce pickers in Imperial Beach, but we sure do catch a lot of gangbangers, murderers, and rapists.
Front Royal, Virginia, the Customs and Border Protection Canine Center. Canine recruits come here to acquire the skills needed to help protect our nation's borders and airports. These four-legged officers learn everything from detecting explosives and narcotics to sniffing out undeclared currency and smuggled agricultural items.
We're very proud of the facility. We have almost 50 people that work here, and each brings their important part of their job into the facility for the overall success of our mission here.
CBP officers train side by side with canine counterparts.
The handlers are coming through the same course. They're here for 13 weeks. They're away from their families. They go through the same intense training as their dogs do.
And don't forget your good verbal and hand command.
Find it.
Excellent.
Good girl.
Once we certify here at the school, we will be partners for life, and it feels great. You know, seeing her every day, puts a little smile on my face. We're a perfect team.
New canine recruits arrive here every 4 weeks. The goal? Determine which ones have what it takes to join the force.
What we're going to do is, because these dogs have been on the road all day, is give them the opportunity to eat tonight, sit back, relax a little bit, and then take them right out of the kennel first thing tomorrow and see if they pass our series of tests that we have established for them.
The stakes are high. These dogs are expected to work the front lines of border security. They must perform as officers, but only an elite few will master these skills and leave here with a CBP badge. 120 miles east of San Diego, the city of Calexico, California is an important transit point for commerce between the U.S. and Mexico.
Calexico Port of Entry actually ranks the third largest land border crossing in the United States. The Calexico Port of Entry consists of two major land border crossings. At the Calexico West Downtown Port, we average approximately 17,000 vehicles a day. About 14,000 to 15,000 pedestrians will also cross through here. At Calexico East, we see nearly 10,000 vehicles a day, as well as 1,300 to 1,500 commercial trucks.
Hey, Mike, can you run us entry point over there? Sure. Right on the ramp there.
Tonight, one of those commercial trucks has aroused the suspicion of CBP officers. The 18-wheeler doesn't seem to weigh enough for the hundreds of cement statues it's carrying.
Considering the type of merchandise, how it's packed in the front, it's very dense, it's hard to see in. I think that it's a good possibility there might be something there. So what we're going to do now is offload some of the merchandise so that we can get a better look and see what's in there.
Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. Lukas, a young man of Polish descent, is returning with his mother from a vacation in Mexico. He's been brought into secondary inspection because his U.S. citizenship status is in question, leaving Lukas more than a bit confused.
I don't know what's going on. I'm coming back from vacation now, and now they all suddenly stopped me. So when I came to America, I was 4 years old. So
his mom's a U.S. citizen. His dad's not. He assumed that he's been living here so long that he was just automatically a United States citizen, and he's not.
I wasn't a citizen after my mom died, was I?
No.
Had both his parents been naturalized as citizens before he turned 18, Lukas would have automatically become a U.S. citizen.
It does happen from time to time. People are in this country and believe that they're a United States citizen and find out later the complete opposite.
Of what country are you a citizen?
I have no idea, man. I would like to know that myself.
Have you ever applied for U.S. citizenship?
I thought I got it after my mom, but I haven't left the country since I came here. So I mean, it's been 20-some years. You figure.
Have you ever voted in a local, state, or federal election in the United States?
I have the registration. The little cards they send you, I get those. That's why I figured I was a citizen. I mean,
he does have significant problems when it comes to his immigration record. He's got a couple problems, okay? Namely, your arrest record. You were arrested in October of 1998 for theft. You were arrested in July of 1999 for possession of drug paraphernalia and driving on a revoked license. You were arrested in October of 1999 for assault and possession of drug paraphernalia. You were arrested in November of 2005 for burglary. You were arrested in November of 2006 for, again, possession of cannabis. And then you were arrested in May of 2007 for, again, driving on a suspended license.
With a rap sheet this long and no U.S. citizenship, Lukas's days in America might be numbered. At Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, Lukas, who is of Polish descent and has lived in the U.S. since he was 4 years old, is surprised to find out that he's not a U.S. citizen. But that's only the beginning of his troubles.
You were arrested in November of 2006 for, again, possession of cannabis, driving on a revoked license, and then you were arrested in May of 2007 for, again, driving on a suspended license.
yeah, it's been rough. Let's just put it that way.
I know a lot of kids that have lived here longer than you and have not been arrested for anything ever, so you're probably going to have to go see the judge. The judge is going to decide whether or not, basically, to let you continue living in the United States or whether you have to move to Poland. He's been arrested on 6 occasions. He admits to a conviction for burglary, which would make him inadmissible for that. And one of the things he said when he was talking about being a U.S. citizen was how he votes all the time, which is not very good. He's not a U.S. citizen. So by voting in any election, period, in the United States, he is subject to deportation and/or inadmissibility at time of re-entry. What we're going to do today, we're going to defer your inspection. In 30 days, you're going to have to show up at the immigration office in downtown Chicago. Then they will decide whether the matter is done and over with or whether you need to go see the judge. Okay?
Okay, no problem. Thank you. I'm probably not going to get deported, but I have to spend some money on a lawyer, probably. That's all I can think of.
All right, you want to go home? It has not ended very well for him at all. There's a reasonable chance that he will probably be deported. He'll get to walk out of here today, but he is nowhere near done with his troubles.
The CBP did not pursue charges of voter fraud, as Lukas believed he was a U.S. citizen. An immigration judge will determine whether or not he'll be deported. Back at Front Royal, Virginia, new canine recruits are about to run through a series of tests to see if they have the skills needed to graduate and earn their CBP badge.
Here's a great example of a dog that's a new recruit. First thing out the morning, right out the gate, he's doing a great job so far.
The next area is the dog's going to have to retrieve underneath a running vehicle.
Failing any test means removal from the program.
Again, we're just looking at how fast the dog runs under that truck to get that towel. Is he afraid of the truck? And obviously with this dog, he's fine.
But some dogs are just not cut out for crawling under cars.
Yeah, as you can see, this dog is very nervous about going underneath that truck. And searching vehicles is our bread and butter, so we're not going to be able to accept this dog. Randy, you can go ahead and put it back in the car.
This recruit did not pass the test. He will be returned to the CBP breeder for adoption into civilian life. For the dogs who have succeeded, boot camp is about to begin.
First thing we're going to do is introduce trained odor to these dogs, so it's odor identification. The way we're going to do that is we're going to use the terry cloth towel with the marijuana tied to it. Okay, let me get the first dog and we'll rock and roll.
What we do is we earn a paycheck. This is the dog's paycheck. As much as we love the dollar, the dog loves his towel.
Okay, guys, next thing we're going to be doing is what's called a buried aid. We're going to bury it right here. Get some gravel. Bury it right back up. If the dog's not searching, whose fault is that? Yours.
If we're doing a positive response, we'll teach a dog to bite and scratch. Once he's located the scent, he traces it to source. Now we want the response. So we teach him to bite and scratch at that location.
Good boy.
These canine officers can quickly locate and identify dangerous materials that pose a threat to transportation systems.
This dog is certified to find explosive odors in any environment, any place, at any time. Oh, what a good boy.
Officer Titus reveals what Skeet discovered.
This is the type of weapon that's used to take down aircraft.
After intense training, the real test begins. Explosives have been hidden at Washington Dulles International Airport. Will Skeet pass or fail this critical test? At Imperial Beach, the sun is setting and the ATV patrol is doing a final daylight sweep of the area.
How you doing, guys?
Their unique mobility opens up large stretches of inaccessible terrain, giving them a much-needed edge in their battle to secure the border. Night shift supervisor John Carroll has just come on duty, and already he's detained 2 illegals attempting to enter the U.S.
We just had 2 individuals jump the border fence, ran across. We have an inside scope about 5 miles away. There's a great visual of this area, and we were able to catch him. One's prior deport, he admitted. The other one's got jailhouse tats on his back and his hand, so he's going to be a case too.
We have to only the for the warning for the family.
No.
Only.
Don't listen. Hey, listen. Hey, hold on. I'm not. This is not a debate. Okay. I'm not going to debate with you. I'm going to put you in jail. I'm going to send you back to Mexico. Okay. Don't tell me that stuff that you're here to visit your families. Don't want to hear it. I'm not stupid. Don't insult my intelligence.
No, it's not stupid.
Let's go. Put your hands on your heads. Let's go, both of you.
Is that your wife, I presume?
Let's go. We got 2 possible felons right off the bat, so we're excited and it's beginning to be a good shift.
Well, the light's fading. Now it starts.
Yep. The games are going to begin.
Nightfall. A new set of threats and a whole new set of tactics. With assaults against agents on the rise, this special unit must expect the unexpected at all times.
We can't drive our ATVs up and down the border with our lights on because the illegal aliens and the smugglers and coyotes know where we're at. So we have to drive around lights out, which is even more dangerous. But it is to protect us. You know, part of the ATVs too is to worry about the smugglers trying to kill us. You know, a month ago they tried to get a wire to decapitate us. They throw boulders on the road, they throw rocks at us, use slingshots at us. So even though there's nights where you feel like the clock's going backwards, but there's other nights where, you know, it's pure excitement and adrenaline rush. So that's the ATVs.
With their plan in place, the night crew heads out to patrol one of the most dangerous sectors of border, not knowing what might be hiding in the shadows. In Calexico, officers are about to inspect an 18-wheeler, which they suspect is loaded with more than just cement ornaments.
We're going to pull off the cement on top, these items, cement articles here, and we're going to see what's underneath, see if we can see what the dog is alerting to. Looks like there's some type of cement column here. Took out some of the items and we discovered large cement cylinders. We broke one open with a sledgehammer. There it is, baby. There you go, look at that, it's a package. Let me break a little more out. Looks like we got a package, it's wrapped in, looks like cellophane. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks like we have marijuana that's concealed in the cement.
The driver is taken into custody for questioning, and officers now face the task of searching the entire 18-wheeler for drugs.
What we're going to have to do is to ensure that we get all the marijuana, we're going to have to actually break every piece of cement to ensure there aren't any packages in there. We should just smash it.
Oh boy. I'm good.
So you want to smash it? Go. Ready? Vivo. 1, 2, 3, go. Come on. Did it break?
No, not these.
It looks like the stuff here in the front, the smaller stuff, there's nothing in that. So we're going to work our way towards the front where we know is loaded. Now we have to get all the dope out.
But to get to drugs packed in cement, it's going to take something more explosive. Back in Calexico, after hours of busting open cement items searching for drugs, officers have finally found what they believe is a huge stash of marijuana.
We're gonna try and dump it over, see if we can fracture the concrete to make it easier for us to remove the packages.
Looks like what appears to be 2 large bricks wrapped in cellophane marijuana. There's gonna be a lot more in fact. As to how many, I don't know at this time, but it looks like there's maybe the front quarter portion of the trailer is loaded. You know, it's kind of like a Easter egg hunt, you know, and it's a game and, you know, adults get to play in it and have fun. You know, this is what we live for. This is awesome, you know, bringing down the bad guys and getting the loads.
There goes another broken heart thanks to CBP.
Total marijuana that was removed from the trailer was 69 packages with a total weight of 342.48 kilos. Street value of $2.2 million.
Although no charges have been handed down, Immigration and Customs Enforcement is continuing to investigate this case. In Imperial Beach, the mesas and canyons are cloaked in darkness as the ATV unit heads out on patrol. It's not long before they find a set of fresh footprints on the side of the road. They suspect it's an illegal immigrant who has just snuck across from Mexico into the United States.
We are the last line of defense here on the border as ATVs. And these guys, they do it. They go down that draw as fast as they can on these ATVs. They're so confident that they know they're going to catch them. And I'll tell you what, the illegal aliens know we're going to catch them too. They fear us. You got him right here? Good job.
Take a sign. Yeah, that's him. That's a bullseye.
For the ATV patrol, teamwork and camaraderie are everything.
Our lives depend on each other. We're out here and it's violent. Smugglers are losing massive amounts of money with the small dents that we're putting in their operation.
Looking for any edge they can get, Agent Carroll sometimes uses a tactic called a flush.
I know they're back there, and instead of just waiting, I'll go ahead and strategically place all my guys in position north, and then I'll have the vehicle by the port of entry and go about a half a mile down the road. We'll flush the zone. We know they're there, so let's go ahead and catch them now instead of maybe them getting away.
Got 3 coming north right now, going to be hitting the parking lot.
Okay, they're coming here. Let's go get in position. You gotta approach every situation as though a person is armed and dangerous. You're outnumbered. You approach every situation that way to make sure you have complete control because these things happen in 30 seconds, 20 seconds. I mean, it's just that quick. Hey, todos, párense. Abajo, todos. Todos, siéntese. Abajo. Acuéstense, todos. Acuéstense. Get down.
We have 7 arrested, 2 are still between the fence. We'll see if they come. They're probably just sitting there wondering what happened. So I'm hoping that some more will come. Hey guys, before you ride them up, they have not been searched thoroughly. So can you search them all? It's a game with a little danger, but it's, you know, you got to play the game and try to get the upper hand on them. So it'll work tonight. We got 7 and maybe 2 more.
Of the 7 suspects apprehended in this flush, all but 1 have made repeated attempts to cross illegally into the U.S. 2 of them have criminal records and have been deported in the past. Washington Dulles International Airport. The toughest test yet for 2 dogs that are on the verge of graduating and joining the ranks of the CBP. In this crowded environment, filled with distractions, canines Skeet and Drock must find currency and explosives that have been planted on 2 plainclothes officers.
We'll be looking for passengers that are carrying explosives on a plane on their body or concealed inside their hand-carried luggage.
Skeet faces the challenge of finding the explosives. But can he find where the danger lies?
We have down here about a pound of C4 plastic explosive strapped to his ankle here.
Drock is searching for the concealed currency. He has been specially trained to detect large sums of money.
We're just searching passengers coming in off of this international flight, and as we furthered our search, we have a individual here that we set up for training aid.
She has the currency hidden in her pocket.
She has 500 bills inside of her pocket.
There you go.
Good.
It won't be long before these canines will graduate and be on the front lines. And they've proven they will be a force to reckon with when they report for duty. Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. If you were to put together a top 10 list of provocative reasons why travelers come to the U.S., Anna Karastofferson's would almost certainly rank high.
Anna, what's the reason you're coming here today?
To visit a friend,
And who is this friend you're visiting?
Clayton.
Who is Clayton?
He's a guy I met online.
You met Clayton on the internet?
Yeah.
Has he ever been to Sweden?
No.
What do you do in Sweden?
I'm unemployed.
Did Clayton buy your tickets to come here? He's never met you before?
No.
Or how long will you stay here?
A month.
Just have a seat real quick. Can I see your return ticket? When is your return date? She hasn't worked in a year and a half. She's in public assistance.
There's no jobs where I live.
And what did you do before?
I was a butcher.
You were a butcher. You been here before?
No.
Now, how long have you been conversing with Clayton?
7 months.
What do you know about him? Okay.
Officer Rock has just discovered something Anna might not know about her internet lover.
They think I'm lying.
We don't think you're lying. It's just a bizarre twist.
Back in Chicago, Anna has followed her heart halfway around the world to hook up with a man she met on the internet.
Other than he's a Marine. He's married. He's married. Clayton is married. You know that, right?
They've been separated since June. They can't get a divorce.
Okay. You have a telephone number for Clinton?
No. But I have a telephone number for my best friend from Los Angeles.
Did you meet this friend online too, or?
Yeah.
Does he know Clinton? Your best friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to talk to your best friend. You're not coming here to work, are you?
No.
Would you tell me if you were going to come to work?
No.
Do you know a young lady by the name of Rigmore, Anna, Maria? And how is it you guys know each other? Is she coming here to work at all, or sort of visit? Okay. All right, okay, thanks.
Officer Rock and his supervisor weigh the facts and whether or not to let Anna into the U.S. She does have a round-trip ticket, sufficient money for her stay, and a friend verifying her story that she's not coming to work.
Yeah.
But is all that enough?
All right, you're done. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right.
I can go now. Okay.
Yeah, you're free. Bye.
It's just a fun way to meet new people, and I get to travel. And I got a free trip. Which is nice. Bye.
At JFK International Airport, CBP officer Greg Toback has received word that a passenger on an inbound flight from the Dominican Republic has been detained for possible identity theft.
They took his fingerprints, and his fingerprints came back to somebody who was previously deported from the United States. He, somehow or another, has a United States passport issued in a different name with his photo in it, so he clearly took somebody's identity to come back to the United States.
Both identities have vast criminal histories.
Get him, put him right in the cell for now, okay?
With the end of his shift nearing and a big case ahead of him, Officer Toback knows he might not make it home as early as he'd hoped.
There's a birthday party for me at home. It's my birthday today, but I'm not going to make the party. I hope everybody enjoys themselves, though.
Officers suspect that this is a case of stolen identity. But they must piece together clues in order to find out exactly who this man is and how he obtained a false passport.
I think that's what he used in order to obtain a valid U.S. passport.
Multiple AKAs. Carlos Perez, Hector Torrado. In Delaware, he has an outstanding warrant for his arrest. Possession with intent to deliver narcotics within 1,000 feet of a school ground.
Oh, great. Okay.
Perhaps the biggest mistake this suspect made was buying the identity of a known criminal.
The name that's in this document actually belongs to a real person. It's funny that his own life and own identity is an extensive criminal record also, okay? But this is a clear case of somebody who's coming in here to harm America, not to do good for America.
Memphis, Tennessee, the Federal Express facility. Each night, nearly 80,000 packages arrive from overseas, and all are on extremely tight delivery deadlines. They're not going anywhere until they are screened by the officers of CBP.
This freight will probably only be in Memphis for a few hours. It's express consignment freight, which means people have paid a lot of money to have their packages sent to the U.S. overnight. So all this freight needs to get processed in a very short time frame. You're talking 2 to 3 hours.
11:04 p.m. The first wave of packages is being processed, and right away an officer's instincts prompt him to pull one offline.
I've got the shipment out of Mexico of a catalog. They hollowed out the inside of the catalog. It's got what appears to be a tablet, wrapped in carbon paper, because when they ship it, they believe that we can't see through the carbon paper with an X-ray machine. The carbon paper doesn't slow the X-ray down one bit. Looking at 100 tablets, roughly $30 a tablet, so $3,000 approximate. So we'll cut this open, pull out one of the tablets, a blue test on this one, positive for methaqualone PCP.
12:13 a.m. In another area of the processing center, another suspicious package.
When we actually open a package and we start hitting things like tinfoil and carbon paper, quite often there's a clue to us that there may be something deeper inside that they're really trying to conceal. And right here, these are fighting cock spurs. They attach them to the legs of the roosters and have them fight to the death. This guarantees a very, very bloody, very fast fight with the roosters. This is like a knife fight. We're going to write it up, and I didn't even see this.
But the surprises don't end there. 12:19 a.m. The FedEx facility. Less than 2 hours before more than 80,000 packages must be screened and loaded onto planes to make their overnight deliveries. But this one's going to miss its flight.
These are fighting cock spurs. They attach them to the legs of the roosters and have them fight to the death. And they've got some steroids for their chickens. That's also part of the seizure now. It says for veterinary usage, but I really don't think that's the sort of usage they were intending.
The pressure continues to build toward their 2 a.m. deadline. 1:04 a.m., less than 1 hour to go, and Officer Boyce and his dog Okra are on the prowl, making sure no narcotics slip through in the last-minute rush.
We're looking for narcotics, anything hard, heroin, coke, ecstasy, meth, anything that the dog hits on that we're certainly interested in. Yes, sir? What you got, girl?
Appears to be concealed inside these 2 transformers here. We do have powder, and we're going to do a test kit on it. And the green is a positive test for heroin. Another good night.
1:59 a.m. With a minute to spare, the last of the packages are screened, loaded onto planes, and bound for destinations all across the U.S. Every year, over 200,000 people are refused entry into the U.S. Frequently, it's for something illegal they're caught doing in the moment. But sometimes, someone is turned away because of secrets from their past.
I talked to him and asked him if he was a frequent crosser, and he had mentioned in the past that he had had his Nexus card pulled. So then I went and did my research.
A Nexus card costs $50 and allows a traveler who frequently crosses the U.S.-Canadian border to skip the long lines. But to get one requires passing a background check.
He was been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude, so he is inadmissible.
The 74-year-old man was convicted of armed robbery in 1973.
They said because I have a criminal record, I guess I'm in trouble for the rest of my life. Well, I'm 74 years old now. Like I'm going to go down here and rob a bank or something, you know?
You can understand his frustration. Even though he was admitted previously, he's still inadmissible. We're going to ask you to back out here, okay? All right? And I'll provide you with the waiver packet. That way you can give him a waiver packet, so that way he can try to overcome his inadmissibility and therefore return to the United States on a visitor's status. Immigration laws specifically states those who are convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude are inadmissible to the
And it
United
doesn't
States.
matter if it's 100 years ago.
It doesn't matter. Okay, you were admitted before erroneously. Today we're gonna correct that.
Okay.
Okay. We can definitely see both sides. He's obviously been away from trouble for 40 years, but under the immigration law, there's no gray area. We have to do what's right. I'm going to give you this orange paper to give to the officers in the parking lot, and they'll direct you on how to go back to Canada, okay?
Oh, I know how.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Every time these jerks stop me, I get madder. I'm going to end up in jail down here one of these days because I'm going to hit one of them. And I mean it. I'm out of here.
Back at JFK International Airport, CBP officers are investigating a suspect with false ID and an extensive criminal background.
This is a clear case of somebody who's coming in here to harm America, not to do good for America.
With the suspect's documents and rap sheet in hand.
Hello.
Where did you get that passport from?
With my friend.
What's your friend's name?
Miguel.
Has a last name?
Oh, no, I don't know. People pay $10,000 to $15,000 for what you have right there, because it's got your picture in it, but he gave it to you for nothing. You don't even know his last name. I don't know yet. Come on, man. Listen, do me a favor. Knock it off. Knock it off. This is ridiculous. I'm telling you the truth. My friend, let me tell you something. You would be the very first person in the entire world that ever came to this country with a good document that you fraudulently obtained for free. It does not happen. Okay? Don't insult our intelligence like that. Okay? Yes, sir. I know what's going on. I know what the signs mean. I know what your look means right now as you look at me. I know what it means when you're sitting there and your knees are shaking. I know all that. That's why I'm good at what I do. Your story has to make sense. Now, you agreed to talk to us. On May 2nd, 2006, when you were arrested in New York for criminal possession of a weapon, what kind of weapon did you have? I never got arrested for a weapon. What, I just made it up?
At JFK International Airport, CBP officers Toback and Liu continue to question a suspect caught with fraudulent identification.
On May 2nd, 2006, when you were arrested in New York for criminal possession of a weapon, what kind of weapon did you have? I never got arrested for a weapon. What, I just made it up? It wasn't me that like that with a weapon. All right, so who had the weapon? It was my friend. What kind of weapon did he have, 45? I think it was a toy piece, though. And I never got arrested with a gun. They don't charge you with criminal possession of a weapon, felony, for having a fake gun. It's ridiculous, the stuff that you want us to believe. It's crazy. So, how are we gonna do this, man? I'm gonna present you for prosecution. Damn, man. You know what? Let's, we got what we need. Give him the sheet. Have him just fill out about his document. Let him write it out in his own words. I'm gonna step outside. All right.
The thing I'm feeling right now, I'm feeling very sad, very embarrassed, too bad, you know? Because I don't want to go to jail either. Y'all think that I'm lying to y'all. I'm happy y'all too, because I went to y'all for tomorrow help me. I'm going to fix all my mistake. I'm trying to do the best I could, you know? Because I don't want to be like something like right now, like in jail, like they give me time. I don't want to do time. I know I was doing everything wrong in that way. But the reason was like, I want to be somebody for tomorrow. That's why we got only one opportunity in this life. If you don't work hard and you don't try to fix the bad thing, you're gonna be nobody.
We're here to protect America. We take our job very seriously, and every single day, that's what we do.
The suspect pled guilty to misuse of a passport and aggravated identity theft. He is facing up to 45 months in federal prison. Every day, all along our nation's border, CBP officers and Border Patrol agents are hard at work protecting the U.S., even in a tiny town like Derbyline, Vermont, with a population of less than 1,000 people.
Subject walked through this yard, heading towards the border.
Hard to say this time if it's somebody trying to sneak into Canada or somebody trying to sneak in the U.S., but obviously somebody wearing a backpack and a heavy winter jacket and 75-degree weather is a little bit suspicious, so got a few units heading out there to check it out.
We know if you decide to go to Canada, you're going to have to go through a port of entry. You can't just walk up through the woods.
He's a man that's apparently quite lost. He's looking for Vancouver, and he's in Vermont.
You know, you can face some pretty substantial penalties.
The northeast town of Derbyline, Vermont is unique for one very special reason. Incredibly, it is split right down the middle by the U.S.-Canadian border. Crossing this line was not always as difficult as it is today. Once upon a time, It was as simple as crossing the street.
You can see the street right here. This is called Canusa Avenue. The yellow line that goes down the middle, that's the actual international boundary. Up here to the right, this is the Haskell Free Library. It's very unique.
Well, we're standing here right at the U.S.-Canadian border, and the border line continues right on through the library section.
When you come into our building, you enter to the United States. However, if you'd like to check a book out, you need to cross the line and come into Canada.
And the same applies to the upstairs of the building where the Opera House is.
Those of you on the other side of the black line are in the United States. Hello! Hello!
Part of them are seated in the U.S. and the other part is in Canada, but the performance, the quality should come out sounding just the same.
I'm of the generation of Canadians. We were born in the Newport, Vermont hospital. So I am American by birth, which means I could be president, like, you know, who want it, but...
When I was a kid, I played hockey, and our hockey rink was in Canada.
I used to walk our dog across the border into Vermont and wave at the camera while he did his business, and then walk back.
Things have changed in Derby Line since the events of 9/11. Residents awoke to the enforcement of the invisible barrier that runs through the heart of their international community.
We were used to living on the border, a border that didn't exist. You could cross the border with a wave, and suddenly we're treated like strangers in our own towns.
It's not like it used to be.
This is a new world we live in. This has to be taken care of, and it's just a fact of life. Me personally, as a native of here, I hate to see, you know, a nice little quaint town like this start to be overrun with